Hi, I am an avatar generated by artificial intelligence, and I will be your host in several languages throughout your journey in this massive online open course on peer support. This course was developed as part of a project co-funded by the European Commission and the Erasmus program. This project, titled Peer and Team Support in Mental Health, Recovery Through User's Voice, brought together partners from Belgium, France, Germany, Norway, Spain, Romania, and Canada. The shorter title is Tuto3PAT Project. Peer support is growing. Peer support is the help that peers, people who come from similar situations, can provide each other. More and more peer support workers are involved in multidisciplinary teams, particularly in mental health and addiction programs and services. This movement poses several challenges related to the recognition of the skills and competencies of peer support workers, their training, the preparation of teams that wish to hire peer support workers, and, finally, the structuring of peer support workers associations. To meet these challenges, the Tuto3PAT project and partnership brought together associations of peer support workers in mental health and addiction, as well as partners from the professional and academic worlds. Drawing on the expertise of peer support workers, the partners have built a common vision and practical tools that support the development and professionalization of the peer support ecosystem. These tools are available to peer support workers and professionals from all countries through this massive online open course. The Tuto3PAT project is structured in the following 5 axes of work. 1. Competencies. Peer support workers not only use their recovery history and the expertise they have acquired in this area, but also deploy a significant number of skills and competencies in their profession: introspection, interpersonal skills, teamwork skills, etc. However, these competencies and skills, sometimes considered soft skills, are not always explicit. Furthermore, their description is not the subject of an international consensus. One of the first areas of work of the project consisted of identifying the competencies and skills used in order to infer a common competencies framework. This competencies framework will enable peer support workers to strengthen their professional positioning within the teams with which they work. 2. Training. There are many training courses for peer support workers. They have very different formats, methodologies, and modalities. The project has produced recommendations on how to work the competencies framework in existing or future training courses. Since training is often a prerequisite for teams wishing to hire, it is crucial that the skills required and the way to work on them be based on the practice of the peer support workers themselves. 3. Team preparation. Experience shows that where teams have not had time to think and prepare before hiring a peer support worker, the risks of failure of the integration project are significantly higher. This is why the partners hope to internationalize the methodologies, training, and adapted tools already available from the Belgian Partner Peer and Team Support Association. Training in recovery and peer support will also be developed for nursing students in order to raise their awareness as early as possible. 4. Development of peer support workers associations. Most of the associations present in the project are small and face the same challenges in their development and professionalization. The partner associations have compared their operating and governance methods in order to learn from each other. 9. They will continue to share the tools and methods they use to support peer support workers active in the field, aiming to develop a common vision and a discourse for public authorities in order to promote the dissemination of practices oriented towards personal recovery and peer support. 5. Massive online open course with the acronym MOOC. The first step consisted in translating from French into English, German, Norwegian, Romanian, and Spanish the already existing Recov 101 MOOC on the fundamentals of recovery. Then, in order to make the Tuto3PAT project's achievements available to all those interested in peer support, be they peer support workers, students, and mental health or addiction professionals, trainers, associations, public authorities, and others, the partners have produced this complementary Peers 101 MOOC. The Recov 101 MOOC on the fundamentals of recovery was structured in 10 chapters, corresponding to each dimension of the working definition of recovery that the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration has developed on the basis of a wide consensus among persons in recovery and their loved ones, peer support workers, clinicians, advocates, policy and decision makers, and others. Similarly, this Peers 101 MOOC is structured in 12 chapters corresponding to each categories of the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration core competencies for peer support workers in behavioral health services. Each chapter is divided into 5 sections. To be consistent with the key principle that the skills required and the way to work on them should be based on the practice of peer support workers themselves, Section 1 of each chapter is a detailed interview with peer support workers from several different countries. These interviews were held in the respective national languages of these peer support workers. In light of the 12 categories of core competencies, they were asked to discuss their work and their passion as persons in recovery and peer support workers, also their hopes and the challenges they face. Section 2 of each chapter is a summary of Section 1. These sections too are available in text and video format, and this in all the languages represented in this ambitious project. Note that it is possible to vary the bitrate of the videos on YouTube. Then, Sections 3 highlights other existing trainings or external resources. Indeed, this Peers 101 MOOC does not pretend to cover all needs. It is rather suggested that interested people should not hesitate to train themselves continuously and to look at other available resources, be they online or physically situated in one city, region, or country. Then, each Section 4 consists for the trainees to answer 5 multiple-choice questions. In total, this test is therefore made up of 60 questions with a target passing grade of 60% rate. The questions cover Sections 2 and 3 of each chapter. Finally, Section 5 is an open-ended question that trainees could address and discuss in their respective national languages for themselves or in small groups facilitated by experienced peer support workers. These open-ended questions cover skills that are divided into 12 categories. That is why, to have them clearly in mind and before your eyes, each video in Section 2 begins by displaying them on the screen. Welcome to the Peers 101 MOOC on the fundamentals of peer support.